Vani
shining.
दीन अमी को काल कूट फलो दीन अमी को महामंत्र जोई जपत महेशु महामंत्र जोई जपत महेशु काशी मुकुति हेतु उपदेशु अजि काशी मुकुति हेतु उपदेशु नाम प्रभाव जान शिवनी को काल कूट फल दीन अमी को महामंत्र जोई जपत महेशु महामंत्र जोई जपत महेशु काशी मुकुति हेतु उपदेशु काशी मुकुति हेतु उपदेशु। परम सौभाग्य,
it is a great fortune that on the pious occasion of Shivratri,
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा। महाशिवरात्रि के
so it is a great fortune that on this pious occasion of Shivratri, that along with the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we all have assembled here to listen to these 323rd Shrimad Bhagavatam Katha. Today, when I was chanting this mantra, which was there on the screen, I came across a very beautiful question from Tapan Kumar Purnia from the state of Bihar in India. So, Tapan Kumar from Purnia, Bihar, has raised this question that he has received this Shiv mantra from his Guru Maharaj, but he is too much positively obsessed and in love with the Harinam. So, is he eligible or can he, along with Shiv mantra, also chant Harinam? So, his doubt is that he has received Shiv mantra from his Guru Maharaj, but he is too fond of Harinam. So, can he chant Harinam or not? This is a query raised by Tapan Kumar from Purnia in the state of Bihar from India. So let us begin today's session right from this question. So the question over here is that you have received Shiv mantra from Guru Maharaj, and what should you do? So in yesterday's session, we have discussed about that Lord Shiva is the Lord of death, and the mantra associated with it is Mahamrityunjay mantra. And this Mahamantra was chanted by moon. He was cursed by Mahaprajapati, but because of chanting of Mahamrityunjay, his problems were resolved, his disease was resolved, he was absolved of the curse. So, what we need to understand over here is that no doubt the mantras like Mahamrityunjay also have their own significance. But the question that surfaces over here in the form of query is that if I am chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra already, then what should I be doing? So, let us get into some philosophical discussion. First of all, we need to understand that the Lord for Shiv mantra is Lord Shiva, but when it comes to Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is actually indicating towards Lord Krishna. So, what is the position of Lord Shiva? What is the position of Lord Krishna? And what is the position and status of Mahamantra? Let us all engage in some discussion and try to answer these questions. So, the first question that surfaces here is, who is the Lord of the death? Who kills the living entities? Now, all of you would say that it would be Lord Shiva, and the answer is no. Who is the Lord of death? It is Lord Yama. So, Yamaraj is the Lord of the death. He is also called as Dharmaraj. Whenever somebody is to be killed, whenever somebody's death time, end time approaches, it is the associates and the servants of Yamaraj who are sent by him to bring that person. Yamaraj has also been referred to as Dharmaraj. But interestingly, Yamaraj and or Dharmaraj, he is actually only given the charge of killing the people or bringing death to living entities. So this is a kind of retail business that he's engaged in. Over and above Yamaraji, over and above Dharmaraji, there's another Lord who is Lord Shiva. So Yamraji is also called as death, and he picks up one or the other living entity. But even over and above Yamraji, it is Lord Shiva. So it is just like, as a mobile owner, you change one or the other settings in your phone, and when you do restore or mobile resettings of the settings, that is Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva picks up or brings an end to entire universe, entire planet. So Yamraji is engaged in a smaller assignment of bringing an end to entities, while Lord Shiva brings end entirely to a planet. So a particular place within the universal planet would be brought to an end by Lord Shiva. So Yamraji is engaged in wholesale business. I apologize. Yamraji is engaged in retail business while Lord Shiva is engaged in wholesale business. But interestingly, over and above Lord Shiva, also there is one death or end that can extinguish, exterminate crores and crores of universes, including Lord Shiva and Brahma.
गीता में अर्जुन ने पूछा तब भगवान श्री
This
कृष्ण
kind
कहते
of question was raised by Arjun on the battlefield. Lord Krishna replied in the form of this question, which is there before you on the screens.
लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे येव स्थिता प्रयनिकेषु योधाः। जब कुरुक्षेत्र के रणांगन में
When on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in the 10th chapter, when Lord Krishna went on to explain his own qualities, Lord Krishna said, "O Arjun, I am the sun in the illumination. In the calmness, I am the moon. In the intellect, I am Shukra." So in this way, Lord Krishna went on to explain immense qualities in the 10th chapter to Arjun. And in the end, Lord Krishna says, "O Arjun, how many do I enumerate to you? You just understand one thing, that whatsoever qualities or whatever mesmerizing things are there in this universe, so whatever mesmerizing things you can think of in this universe, they are just one of the tiniest particle of me." Now, Arjun also raised a question further that, "Oh Krishna, you have been enumerating it for such a long time, but would you illustrate some of it?" It is at this point of time that Lord Krishna said, "Oh Arjun, you would not be able to witness it with your material eyes. I need to give you those eyes, that vision with which you would be able to become a witness to this." So, with that vision, Lord Krishna was able to illustrate and make Arjun see the past, present, and future. All those great warriors on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna presented before Arjun their past, present, and future, and that it was shown everyone was becoming a eatery, an edible thing of Lord Krishna. Now Arjun was bewildered and he was nervous. Arjun asked, "Oh Lord, so far I used to think that you are a friend of mine. Must you now tell me who you are? I am not able to tolerate, I'm not able to undergo and hold on this immense form of yours, who you are, kindly explain. This was the prayer made by Arjun to Lord Krishna as he saw the immense form of Lord Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. O Arjun, you want to know who am I in this form? Then you listen. For those who are engaged in Sankirtan, I appear very easily, but must you remember, those who do not engage in Kirtans, for them I am the death, I am the end. And what do I do for such people? Those who do not engage in Kirtans, for them I pick up and destroy universes altogether. So you see, what did we understand? Who is death? It is Yamraj who picks up only a limited individuals, and then over and above is Lord Shiva who picks up the entire planet. But then over and above is placed Lord Krishna, who is the end of Lord Shiva as well, which is Lord Krishna. And that is the reason if we would chant the mantra of Sri Krishna, it will absolve us not only smaller issues, but it will absolve us of entire cycle of recurring birth and death. So one death or one end is Yamraj, the other end is Lord Shiva. But both these ends, both these deaths
थर थर थर
are
थर कांपते हैं.
also always fearful of the name of Lord Krishna. This particular point has been illustrated in Shrimad Bhagavatam in the form of the shloka before you at the bottom of your screens. So the shloka goes something like this from Shrimad Bhagavatam, which is there at the bottom of your screens.
श्रीमद् भागवत जी में सूत जी कहते हैं कि आपन्न संस्कृतिम घोराम, यदि कोई मनुष्य इस घोर संस्कृति में इस
So in Shrimad Bhagavatam, it is said that if a person is entangled in this material world, now the definition of an individual being entangled in this material world will differ from person to person. So, if a person is entangled in this material world, and such a person, if he chants the name of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, now sometime back I told you that there are three stages when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One is with offenses, one is just feeling the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and the final one is optimal level of purity. But here none of the stages being mentioned. Whatever may be the form and stage in which you are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it's like as normal as you can go on to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Such a person immediately gets absolved of all the sins, problems, and pains of this material world. Why? Because by chanting the name of Lord Krishna, so just by chanting the name of Sri Krishna, who gets fearful? Who gets fearful? And the fear itself gets fearful because of chanting of Sri Krishna Mahamantra. And Acharyas have commented, who is that fear? It is Lord Yamraj, it is Lord Shiva. So both the death, both the ends, Yamrajji and Lord Shiva trembles in fear if a person engages in chanting the name of Lord Shri Krishna. See, yesterday we talked about uh, moon, uh, which is Somnath Mahadev. So yesterday moon went on to recite 100 crores of Mahamrityunjay mantra, and also that Mahamrityunjay mantra was chanted in the form of strong penance, and also 100 crores Mahamrityunjay mantra was chanted at Dham by following all the rituals. So the point to be noted here is moon
चंद्रमा जैसे ऊंचे आदमी ने एक तो 100 करोड़
Mahamrityunjay mantra at a dham along with all rituals and penances. Don't you think this is completely unthinkable for people like us in this material world? So, what was the result? What was the fruit of this? He was absolved of the tuberculosis disease for which he was cursed. But interestingly, despite all this, he did not get complete absolution from this curse. So only the degree was brought down that for 15 days he would increase, and for 15 days he would be on a decrease. But please try to understand the context of Ajamil in Shrimad Bhagavatam, that what kind of result shall you get chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Ajamil just chanted once Narayan, and you see what was the result that he was offered with. Chandrama or moon was chanting the Mahamantra, chanting the Mahamrityunjay mantra in strong penances and rituals, but Ajamil chanted Narayan on his bed. While Moon was chanting the Mahamrityunjay mantra in honor of Lord Shiva, while Ajamil was chanting the name of Narayan as he was addressing his son. So Chandrama or Moon could not get absolved of the disease fully and completely, while on the other hand, Ajamil was on the deathbed. The representatives of Yama had almost arrived at the deathbed as he was on his deathbed, and he called out Narayan, which was his son. Imagine what could be the result of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I nowhere mean to say that there is no effect of Mahamrityunjay mantra. Whatsoever are the mantras in the Vedas, but they all have different kinds of effect and influence. Mahamrityunjay mantra or any other mantra, you need to engage in a lot of rituals, penances, and formulas. So, what shall you get from that? Freedom from the death. But then you see, the same freedom of death can be achieved by you, you know, in very easily, even if you chant once in any form or state the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then you imagine if somebody engages in chanting of the holy name with all purity and commitment, then what would be the effect and resultant fruit that he shall be endowed with? Now, let us also do one more thing, that if the query is all about Shiv mantra, let us go and ask Lord Shiva himself what is the result of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then what mantra pleases him. So The mantra goes like this, which is there on the top right hand side of your screens.
सीवनी को काल कूट फलो दीन अमी को. जब
So the
समुद्र
mantra says, when there was turning of the cosmic ocean and Kalkut poison came out of the churning and Lord Shiva came at the ocean.
मृत्युंजय मंत्र का वो खुद जाप कर सकते थे, महामृत्युंजय. लेकिन उस समय शिव जी ने कौन सा नाम लिया? कहते हैं
At that point of time, Lord Shiva could have chanted his own name. He could have chanted his own mantra. But which name did he chant? He chanted the name of Lord Shri Ram, and he consumed the Kalkut poison with the name of Lord Ram. And because of the effect and influence and power of name of Lord Shri Ram, the same Kalkut poison got freed itself of all toxicity. If you apply a little reason, you would realize that what mantra should you be chanting? Please see the third line of the mantra.
जोई जपत महेशु. शिव जी कौन सा मंत्र जप करते हैं? कहते हैं
which mantra Lord Shiva chants?
जोई जपत महेशु काशी मुकुति हेतु उपदेशु. भक्तों,
Dear devotees, Lord Shiva himself chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Lord Shiva, that is Mahesh, chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So just in case if you want to please Lord Shiva, then following the footsteps of Lord Shiva must we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And it is only because of chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, a person who leaves his material body, Lord Shiva himself chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the ears of such a person who is leaving his material body, abandoning his material body. Now, don't you think it is quite possible that Lord Shiva can also chant his own mantra in the ears of such a person, such a dying person, but still not? Lord Shiva chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So if you ask me, when you would ask people of the material world, they would say that you must chant Mahamrityunjaya jap. But if you ask Lord Shiva would suggest you to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Lord Shiva is very much pleased if you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So dear Tapan, who has raised this particular question, I hope you have got your question answered, that which mantra should you be chanting. Must you not embarrass your Guru Maharaj? You should chant that Shiv mantra, but the Harinam and Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you should never abandon that. And if I was to suggest and advise you, the Shiv mantra that you chant, it is the influence and fruit of the Shiv mantra being chanted by you that you have got the opportunity to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
आप देखो थर्ड क्लास फोर्थ ग्रेड में पढ़ते हो, ठीक है, और फोर्थ ग्रेड में आपको
So you see, you study in class 3, 4, or 5th grade.
अच्छे मार्क्स लाकर आप
It
पास हो
is
गए,
because of the teachers of your junior classes that you're promoted to higher classes.
फोर्थ ग्रेड में जो टीचर है ना वो बहुत अच्छे हैं, वो गुरुजी बहुत अच्छा पढ़ाते हैं, अरे उन्होंने अच्छा पढ़ाया क्योंकि तुम अगले ग्रेड में जाओ। तो ठीक उसी प्रकार शिव जी के मंत्र का जाप करके शिव जी की
So
कृपा
you
से
see, because your teacher
का ग्रेड मिल गया, महामंत्र मिल गया,
of the junior classes that you get promoted to the higher classes, higher grades. So similarly, when you are chanting the Shiv mantra, you should also now move to higher grade, which is chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And you see, it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrut, when Hare Krishna Mahamantra is being chanted, Lord Shiva dances in such an ecstatic mode that he never realizes where his dhoti or hair locks or
छोटे से हरि कीर्तन के साथ हम इस भगवत कथा
ecstasy. So let us now chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and move forward in this discussion of Hare Krishna.
नवल किशोर जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय जय माखन चोर जय जय माखन चोर। श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। उपस्थित
Please accept my humble obeisances. I extend a warm welcome to the senior devotees and Vaishnavas of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I also extend my gratitude and warm welcome to all the devotees who have joined us live on both YouTube and Facebook, and who also very regularly join us on the Zoom platform.
फेसबुक यूट्यूब आदि के माध्यम से इस कथा का श्रवण करने वाले
So I welcome you all to the second day Katha of 323rd Shrimad Bhagavatam Katha. I also extend a special welcome to the host family from Bahrain and New Zealand, Agastya family, Chand family, and Patel family, who have organized this beautiful katha in the loving memory of their departed souls, their pitrus, and to be blessed with Bhagavad Prem. So their pitrus are Shri Shiv Kumar Agastya Shri Babu Ram Chandji, Shri Prabhubai Patel ji, and Dudiben. So, in the loving memory of such departed souls and their deliverance, this beautiful katha has been organized by Shri Bhakta Hari Prabhu, Sudha Rani Mataji, and from New Zealand, Umesh Chandji, Vinita Chand Mataji, and their son from Melbourne, Shanil and Shayani. I welcome each one of you on this pious occasion of Mahashivratri. A warm welcome to the second day Katha of 323rd Katha. Hare Krishna, Radhe Shyam. From New Jersey, we have Sri Ramchandra Prabhu who have joined us. It is a great fortune for all of us. He is a very senior devotee, and in New Jersey, under his great guidance, many devotees are associated with Iskcon. So he is a beautiful decoration to our Katha today. It's a great fortune that Lord Rama and Krishna's very favorite Devadidev Mahadev's Katha we are engaged to listen. So when we talk about Lord Mahadev, then you see there is a flood of question. And I personally like it a lot because you see, this is actually the background platform to our Vedas and Shastras. This exactly is the platform of our Vedas and Shastras that an individual raises a query, expresses a question, and the Vedas and Puranas and Shastras provide solution to such queries and questions. And Sage Vyas had gone on to say that until and unless an individual within his heart does not develop a query towards the Paramatma as an element, he cannot be called as a human at all. The life of a human begins only when, right from the time when query surfaces your mind and heart. Who am I? Why did I come to this world? Who is Lord Shiva? Who is Paramatma? Who is Lord Krishna? Only when such query surfaces your mind and heart, you can understand, you can get an indication that in real sense of the term, your life has begun. So when we were engaged in Mangalacharan, we came across a question from Vinesh ji from Telangana, India. And the question was, what is the mood of the devotee should be there from serving Lord Shiva? So Vinesh ji from Telangana raises a question. What is the mood of the devotee should be there for serving Lord Shiva? So, like we all engage in the disciplic succession of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and under the leadership of Srila Prabhupada, we are engaged in service of Lord Radha Shamsundar. So, because his photograph indicates in the background of Mayapur Dham, so for sure he is a follower of Gaudiya Parampara. So we must answer his question accordingly. So basically, the question is for Iskcon followers, what should be the mood of devotees serving Lord Shiva? So if I was to answer this question in brief, then the answer should be we should be requesting Lord Shiva. We should be asking Lord Shiva, oh Lord, whatever the degree of love and affection that you have towards Lord Krishna, when Lord Krishna plays the flute for his Ras, and oh Lord Shiva, you enter the Ras Leela of Lord Krishna, the way your love you have towards Lord Krishna. For sure, we cannot reach to that level. If we could get even a drop of that love, we would be delivered from this material world. So, this ideally should be the mode when we serve Lord Shiva to ask him to get, you know, some drop of love, similar love that Lord Shri Shiva has towards Lord Krishna. So actually, he's very innocent, he's bhole, and it's so easy to influence Lord Shiva, who is so innocent. And that is the reason demons always engage in pleasing
तो
Lord
ये
Shiva,
जो आसुरी
because
भक्ति है
very
वो
easily Lord Shiva gets
मिसयूज
pleased
करते हैं.
and offers boons to them.
मैं
So
कहूँगा
people
मिसयूज
of
करते हैं, वो यूज कर ही नहीं पाते हैं.
people of
वास्तव में शिव जी की वास्तविक
demon
भक्ति
category goes
शिव
on
जी
to
से राम
misuse Lord
कृष्ण की
Shiva.
भक्ति मांगनी चाहिए.
So if you were
राम और
to
कृष्ण की भक्ति
engage in real serving for Lord Shiva, you
क्योंकि
must
शिव जी फिर हमने
ask
सुना ना
the love
कि स्वयं भगवान विष्णु
for
खुद
and love towards Sri Krishna
वो
and
जो
Rama.
परम
Like
परम
yesterday we understood,
परम
oh
तत्व
Devi
जिसे जानते
Lakshmi,
हैं तो शिव है.
if
और ऐसे
I
ही
love
शिव
somebody the
जी
most, it is Lord
वही
Shiva.
हमारा मूड है.
So Lord Shiva always is
इसी
desirous of love
इसी
towards
तत्व के
Krishna.
विषय में यदि मैं निवेदन
So
करूं
if we were to talk about the element of Lord
तो
Shiva,
हमारे चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने एक बहुत
then
सुंदर
Chaitanya
फिलोसॉफिकल एलिमेंट
Mahaprabhu
बताया.
has expressed a very philosophical element about Lord Shiva.
यदि शिव जी के विषय में पूछा जाए तो एक दृष्टि
If
से
a
शिव
query
जी भगवान है.
was there
विज्ञान
that who
सिद्धांत
is Lord Shiva, then the
कहते
fact
हैं
is Lord
कार
Shiva
विशेष योग है.
is God for sure.
जैसे रात को आप दूध में खटास डाल दो
Just as when you
और
would
वो
put
दूध
some
दूसरे दिन दही बन जाता है,
sour
उसी
drops
प्रकार
into
उसी
milk and
प्रकार
next day it shall
शिव
become
होता है.
curd. So just as
भगवान श्री
curd
कृष्ण यदि
is
दूध
produced
है
from milk, so
नहीं,
just like that,
देवादि देव महादेव है.
if Lord Shri Krishna is the
दही
milk,
कहाँ से बना?
then the curd
दही
is Lord
तो
Shiva.
दूध है.
So what is the source
दही
of
से
curd? It
और
is the
दूध और दही
milk.
में कोई अंतर नहीं
So
क्योंकि दूध से ही
from one
दही बना है.
aspect,
एक
there is no
दृष्टि से
difference between curd and
इस
milk
अर्थ
because
में
it is from
अर्थ
milk
में
that the
कि
curd
भगवान
has
कृष्ण
become
और शिव में
into
कोई अंतर नहीं है
existence.
क्योंकि
So in that
कृष्ण ही
sense, there is
शिव
no
है.
difference from Krishna. There's no difference
लेकिन
between
एक
Shiva
अर्थ
and
होगा
Krishna because it is from
कि
Krishna,
दूध में
and
से
that Krishna
दही बन
himself had
सकता
become
है,
Shiva.
दही में से
But there
दूध
shall be
भगवान नहीं
difference
हो
in the
सकते.
other aspect that from milk curd can be formed,
ऐसे कहते
but
हैं
the other way
पंचतत्व
reverse process
भेदाभेद.
is not possible. From
और
curd you
पंचतत्व भेदाभेद क्या है कि एक
the
दृष्टि
Beda
से
Ved.
शिव जी भगवान है
So what is Achintya Bheda Ved?
क्योंकि दूध
That
में से
from
दही
one
बना है
aspect,
कृष्ण
no
से,
doubt,
एक्सपांशन
Lord
ऑफ लॉर्ड शिवा,
Shiva
कृष्ण से
is
एक्सपेंशन.
God because he is
और
expansion of
एक
Lord
दृष्टि से
Krishna.
देखा
But from
जाए
the
तो
other
वो
aspect,
वैष्णव है, भगवान नहीं
that
है.
Lord Shiva is a
ऐसे
Vaishnava.
ही
He is a devotee of
यमुना
Lord
महारानी की
Krishna.
कथा सुनी उसमें भी लागू
And you
है.
see, when we
यही
talked
चीज
about Sri
है
Yamuna Maranikata, the
कि
same thing was applicable.
गोवर्धन
The
पर्वत
same
पर
rule
से नहीं
applies
गिरा इसलिए
to
गोवर्धन शिव
Govardhan
भगवान
as
है.
well. What is
यथा
Govardhan?
यथा
Just a part of the
प्रकृति
heart of Lord
दास
Krishna.
वर्य, और गोवर्धन हरि के दासों में वर्य है.
And again, at the same time, from other
गोवर्धन
aspect,
स्वयं कृष्ण है
Govardhan is one of the
और
topmost
कृष्ण
devotee
भक्त है.
amongst Krishna
ठीक उसी
followers.
प्रकार
Similarly,
शिव जी
Yamuna Maharani is the consort of Lord
वास्तविक भक्त
Krishna
भी
and
है.
also a devotee. Similarly,
दोनों है.
Lord Shiva is a
क्योंकि
god as well
भक्ति
as a
का मूड जो
devotee
है
of the Lord, Lord Krishna.
मूड शिव जी की सेवा के पीछे मूड क्या होना. सेवा तो बाद में करेंगे, पहले रिलेशन क्या है ये तो देखो.
So, serving
देखो सेवा तो
is
बाद
a
में करेंगे,
different
किसी से
story.
रिलेशन
First,
होता
we
है
should establish a
और
relationship.
रिलेशन के पहले भी उनका परिचय होता है. पहला है
And
परिचय
even before the
और
relationship,
परिचय
it's an
जब हो गया ठीक
introduction.
है तो उसके साथ रिलेशन.
So
और
you need to
रिलेशन होने
establish a
के बाद
relationship when
उसके
introduction is proper, and then
तो
once
हमारे
relationship
विनेश
is
जी से
established
बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न
accordingly,
पूछ दिया.
the service
मैं
is to be
विनेश जी को
established.
कर रहा हूँ
So Vinesh ji has actually asked the
कि शिव
third
जी
question
भगवान है, वो
first. So
भगवान
the
नहीं है.
first is you must understand the element of Lord
इसलिए
Shiva,
हमें
that he
यदि
is a god
चुनना
as
है
well as a
तो हम
devotee.
सिद्धांत में चलेंगे
So it is for us
कि
to choose that which
ब्रह्म
element shall
भगवत
we
अवतारा.
choose, that
यदि
what
मैं
relationship we need to
सिद्धांत की बात
establish.
करूं
So as per the
तो श्रीमद्
Gaudiya
भागवत में
tradition,
शिव जी को
Shrimad Bhagavatam
भगवान
says
स्वीकार नहीं, यद्यपि भगवान है
that
लेकिन भागवत ने
Lord
शिव
Shiva
जी
is
को
not
भगवान स्वीकार नहीं
accepted
किया.
as
उन्होंने
a
क्या
god.
कहा?
Bhagavad
नराणाम
accepts
यथा
him,
गंगा देवानाम अच्युतो यथा वैष्णवा नाम यथा शंभो. भागवत के अनुसार शिव जी कौन है?
as per
शिव
Shrimad
जी
Bhagavatam.
समस्त वैष्णवों में
Who is Lord
श्रेष्ठ है.
Shiva? He is
समस्त
the
वैष्णवों में
epitome
सबसे बड़ा,
amongst all Vaishnavas.
वैष्णवों के
He
मुकुट.
is excellent
तो बताना
amongst
चाहिए सबको
Vaishnavas.
कि
He
शिव
is the
जी सबसे
topmost
सिरमौर.
Vaishnavas.
इसीलिए क्योंकि हम भागवत फॉलो करते हैं
And because we
इसलिए
follow Shrimad
हम बताते हैं
Bhagavatam
शिव जी को
in Gaudiya
यद्यपि वो
tradition,
भगवान है.
even though he is
अच्छा
a god, he is an
अच्छा
expansion of
यमुना
Lord.
महारानी भगवान
Girida
है
Govardhan
लेकिन उन्होंने
is
अपने आप को भक्त के
God.
रूप में स्वीकार
Yamuna
नहीं किया.
Maharani
गोवर्धन
is God, but all of them accepted themselves as a devotee. So Lord Shiva also accepts himself as a Vaishnava, and this is the element that we shall follow, that Lord Shiva is the highest Vaishnava. Now, after having introduced, who is Lord Shiva, then what should be our relationship with Lord Shiva? So, because he is the utmost Vaishnava, so we must consider him as our guru, as our senior. So, accordingly, what should be the service? We should pray to Lord Shiva that Lord Shiva be pleased upon us, just as Lord Shiva has established his relationship of love towards Sri Krishna. Similar relationship, we should be blessed by him. So this should be our mood as we serve Lord Shiva, while we serve Lord Shiva.
आइए हम सब शिव जी से अभिन्न साक्षात शिव जी के 12 अवतार हुए।
So Lord Shiva had 12 incarnations in the form of 12 Jyotirlings. So in the last session, we discussed first Jyotirling of Lord Shiva, Sri Somnath Mahadev. Now let us move towards second Jyotirling, for which Sri Sud Goswami is explaining to us. So Sri Sud Goswami says, what is there on the bottom of your screens?
शङ्करस्य वे द्वितीयः श्रीगिरोतात श्रीगिरोतात भक्ता भीष्टफलप्रद भक्ताभीष्टफलप्रद। श्री सूत जी कहते हैं कि मल्लिकार्जुन,
So Sri Sud Goswami says, Mallika Arjun Sangyatasya.
संज्ञात माने नामक,
Sang-
मल्लिका अर्जुन नामक अवतार शंकरस्य वै।
Incarnation by the name of Mallika Arjun is the incarnation of Lord Shiva.
कौन अवतार है? मल्लिका।
So who is the incarnation of Lord Shiva? It is Mallika Arjun.
ये मल्लिका अर्जुन नामक जो अवतार है,
And this Mallika Arjun incarnation is
ज्योतिर्लिंग रूपी अवतार है।
the second Jyotirling
अच्छा,
incarnation.
ये दूसरा ज्योतिर्लिंग रूपी अवतार मल्लिका अर्जुन नाम से कहां पर है? कहते हैं
So where is it situated? It is situated at Srigiri, on the Srigiri mountain.
भगवान शिव का अवतार हुआ। अच्छा, ये अवतार क्यों हुआ?
So why this incarnation happened? So the answer is
शिव जी का यह अवतार
this incarnation of Lord Shiva
पूर्ण करने के लिए
has
भक्तों की मनोकामना,
taken place
की इच्छा को पूर्ण कर
to materialize
अभीष्ट
the desires of the devotees. Abhishtufal means whatever the devotee is desirous of.
महादेव का ये दूसरा अवतार हुआ है। कहते हैं अगले श्लोक में,
It is said in the next shloka, which is there on the screens
सूत दर्शन
before you.
होता है। जैसे मैंने कल भी कहा था कि भगवान के अनंत अवतार है।
So, as I discussed with you yesterday, that there are numerous incarnations of Lord, and these different incarnation blesses material entities, but
तो शिव जी का
there is always a specific reason for a particular incarnation. So,
कारण क्या था?
the special purpose behind this particular incarnation of Lord Shiva had been that with this particular incarnation, Lord Shiva basically went on to convince his son Kartikeya, Murugan Swami. So, to pamper his own son Kartikeya, Lord Shiva actually took this incarnation. So, to pamper and express his love towards his own son, who had got annoyed, Lord Shiva took this incarnation. And after having pleased his son, who had got annoyed with him, Lord Shiva got situated there itself. So, in one form, Lord Shiva got situated here, and in the other form, he went to his own Kailash mountain. Further, it is said in the shloka before you on your screens, this is the second Jyotirling of Lord Shiva. And if anyone gets to have darshanams of this Jyotirling. So, yesterday, I've understood the meaning of darshanams yesterday. So even the katha that we're engaged in is also a kind of darshan. But darshan is not just done through eyes, but also with ears. So having darshans through ears, when you engage darshans in, when you engage in having darshans through your eyes after having done the darshan through your ears, it's a blissful experience. So, Sud Goswami says, O Shaunakji, this second Jyotirling, if is worshipped by somebody or has done the darshans of this Jyotirling, then two things a person is blessed with. So that person goes on to experience extreme pleasure, Mahasukh. So one of the pleasure is material world pleasure. So that pleasure, what is being talked about is spiritual pleasure, Bhagavad Bhakti. So
अंत जीवन के अंत में मुक्ति
throughout the life and towards the end of the material life, this person will be blessed with liberation without any doubt. So imagine even the sages and rishis also have to emphasize that he is speaking the truth, that without an iota of doubt this would happen. So if anybody would worship this second Jyotirling and have darshans of this Jyotirling, the person is liberated from this material world and experiences ultimate pleasure in the material world. So now let us try to understand the backdrop and situation in which why Lord Shiva got to take this incarnation. So this story is mentioned in a lot of Puranas, and this particular instance is being talked about Brahmaji to Naradji, because Naradji had expressed his desire, his query about this particular Jyotirling. So Brahmaji goes on to share the story with Brahmaji. Oh, Naradji. So Brahmaji shares the story in the form of shloka, which is there on your screens.
शिवश्च देवर्षे सुविचार परायणो सुविचार परायणो. मैं जब श्लोक गाता हूं ना तो मुझे लगता है श्लोक बोल रहे हैं, मतलब हंस रहे हैं. और देखिए ब्रह्मा जी का
When I chant the shloka, I feel the shloka as a smiling. So Brahmaji says, once upon a time, Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati has been married, and that they both have been blessed with two sons. And I have shared this story with you once. So let me share it here very shortly. Kartikeya Swami is the first son of Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati, who is also called as Murugan Swami. Now, after having married, both of them went to dense forest, and that they were staying together in a dense forest, and that it so happened a demon appeared whose name was Tarkasur, and all the demigods made a request towards Lord Shiva to protect them. Now, with huge difficulty, you see Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati were enjoying their own private times in the dense forest. So when Lord Shiva realized that the demigods are being troubled, Lord Shiva came out and appeared before the demigods. So the demigods requested before Lord Shiva that Tarkasur must be killed to help them. And Lord Shiva said, "Don't you worry, I am working only to save you." Lord Brahma had said that my first son would kill Tarkasur. I was actually engaged in that business, but you have again bothered me.
और फिर सप्तर्षियों के पास गया, फिर हिमालय के ऊपर गया,
So,
फिर
because of the demigods, illumination appeared from Lord Shiva, and Devi Parvati could not hold it. So, this illumination traveled from different places, and in the end, it got into a stick, which is Sarkanda, and it is from here that Lord Kartikeya appeared in the form of first son of Lord Shiva. So, Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati's first son is Kartikeya. But you see, the friends of Devi Parvati would often say that, "Oh Parvati, this Kartikeya is the son of Lord Shiva and not yours, because the child is born from the mother and not from the father. It was the elimination of Lord Shiva. So that way, he is not your son. So the DNA of yours does not match with Kartikeya. He is not your son. And as this child would grow, you see, Kartikeya will never speak in your favor. So, in order to balance the family life, don't you think there should be a child to balance the family life? Now, Devi Parvati was bewildered. Devi Parvati therefore took a resolution, and from her energies, Lord Ganesha appeared. Now, the birth of Lord Ganesha, and there is no touch of Lord Shiva. So, the point that I want to get across, that in the family of Lord Shiva, there are two kids. Ganesh ji is completely owned by Devi Parvati, and Kartikeya is completely owned by Lord Shiva. So you might have heard of this story that that Devi Parvati asked Ganesha to guard the entrance because she was taking a bath, and that is when Lord Shiva came. But Lord Ganesha refused to give him an entry. So you see, this indicates that Lord Ganesha was completely dedicated towards her mother, Devi Parvati. So, in a nutshell, there are two kids in the family of Lord Shiva, and both of them are gaining age with every passing day. So, Brahmaji says, "Oh Narad, once upon a time, it so happened that both Kartikeya and Ganeshji have started gaining age, and the family moves on. So once upon a time, it so happened that Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati were sitting at a very
रहस्य प्रेम
peaceful
संयुतो
private place.
और प्राइवेट प्लेस में एकांत में बैठकर प्रेम संयुतो हमारी तरह झगड़ा नहीं हो रहा था कि तुम तो टाइम ही नहीं देते हो, तुम तो यही नहीं करते हो, तू तो ठीक से भोजन बनाना नहीं जानती है। ये हमारा जब एकांत होता है तो ये होता है। लॉकडाउन में बहुत लोग परेशान हो गए।
So they were not
लेकिन शिव जी की भक्ति में क्या
conflicting,
है, रहस्य
rather,
जब
they both were
एकांत में
sitting
बैठते
very
हैं
peacefully and lovingly in a
देवी
private
बात होती
place.
है।
And they were talking about love and affection.
तो तत्र रहस्य प्रेम संयुतो शिवा शिवश्च, शिवा माने पार्वती, पार्वती का एक नाम, पार्वती के बहुत सारे
So
नाम
one
है,
of the names of Devi Parvati
शिवा,
is
उमा।
also
तो पार्वती का एक नाम है शिवा, क्योंकि वो शिव की
Shiva,
हो चुकी है।
because
उसने
she
ऐसा
now
काम किया
belongs
है
to
जो
Lord
की है तन
Shiva
मन धन से।
from every
इसलिए
aspect. That's
पार्वती
why
को
Devi
रखा गया शिवा।
Parvati is also called as
शिवा
Shiva.
पार्वती, शिवश्च माने शिव जी,
So
देवर्षि ऋषि
Shiva
बोलते
and
हैं,
Lord Shiva, that is Devi Parvati,
देवर्षि
and
नारद
Lord
मुनि।
Shiva
सो हे
is
देवर्षि
sitting in a private place
शिवा
very peacefully and
शिवश्च,
lovingly.
शिवा
So the story is being narrated
रहस्य
by
एकांत
Brahmaji to
स्थान में प्रेम
Naradji.
से
So
बैठते
what
हैं
Brahmaji says that at a very
और
secluded, sacred
सूक्ष्म
place,
चार
Devi
वनों
Parvati
शिव
and
जी
Lord
ध्यान कर
Shivji
रहे थे।
are engaged in a very
किसी को
lovely,
भी एकांत
beautiful
बैठने में यही विचार
conversation.
होना चाहिए, फलानी तो ऐसा करती है, फलाना ऐसा करता है, वो ऐसा करती है, सास ऐसा बोलती है, ससुर ऐसा कहता है।
So the point is when husband and wife should sit together, they must
जितना
engage in
सुखी
beautiful discussion.
पार्वती जितनी सुखी बहू कोई नहीं होगी।
So if you were to
मेरे घर
ask
में
me,
ऐसी पार्वती बहू है,
there cannot be any
न ससुर
daughter-in-law
न ससुर का चक्कर
who
न
is
सास का चक्कर,
wonderfully
न
placed
शिव
in a very
चक्कर नहीं, कोई
pleasurable
चक्कर नहीं, जितना
situation.
झगड़ा शिव के साथ
No
था
mother-in-law
उतना
or
झगड़ा शिव के साथ
sister-in-law,
है।
nobody hurt
लेकिन
unbehind.
धन्य है
But
सुविचारपणों,
you
दोनों
see,
एकांत
they
में
were
बैठे
engaged in very
बहुत
beautiful
अच्छा विचार। हे
conversation
प्रभु
and
जी क्या
thought.
विचार कर रहे थे।
So what was that thought?
तब ब्रह्मा जी कहते हैं, दोनों चर्चा कर रहे थे, पार्वती तुम्हें ऐसा नहीं लग रहा है कि हमारे दोनों बच्चे शादी के योग्य हो चुके हैं?
So Lord Shiva says to Devi Parvati,
कहते
"O
हैं
Parvati,
विवाह
don't
योग
you
संजातो
think that both our sons are
चितावतो,
now in the ripe age to get married?"
वे दोनों कार्तिक और गणेश दोनों शादी के लायक हो चुके, ऐसा नहीं लग रहा है? पहले तो शिव जी ने कहा होगा, क्योंकि कार्तिकेय बड़े हैं ना, तो बड़े की शादी पहले होती है। तो
You
शिव
see,
जी
ideally it is the elder one who should get
ऐसा
married
नहीं लगता है
first.
कि कार्तिक का
So
शादी कर
perhaps
देनी चाहिए?
Lord Shiva would have said to Devi Parvati
कार्तिक की भी
that, "O
शादी हो गई तो
Parvati,
गणेश की भी
don't you
शादी हो
think that Kartik
गई।
should get married now?"
वाड़ लेते हैं अपनी बात को, ऐसे वाड़ लेते हैं।
So
तो शिव जी
perhaps
ने वाड़ लिया कि हाँ हाँ दोनों
Parvati
की
would
शादी
say,
करेंगे।
"Why
तो
only Kartike? Ganesh should get married." So perhaps Lord Shiva would have said that, "Oh Devi
शिव जी
Parvati,
प्रथम
don't you
विवाह करें।
think both our sons should now get married?"
तो देवी हम ये दोनों की शादी के लिए किस कन्या के साथ विवाह करें,
So Lord Shiva now says to Devi
कैसे विवाह
Parvati,
करें?
"Whom should we
एकांत
get
में
our sons
बैठकर
married?"
शिव और पार्वती दोनों ये सोच रहे
So
थे।
it was this conversation going on between them.
और फिर ये बात शिव जी ने अपने दोनों बच्चे को बुलाए और
So
अपने
now
दोनों
Lord
बच्चों को ये
Shiva
बात
called
बताई।
on
अगर आप
both
सोच रहे हैं कि
his
इन दोनों
sons
की शादी करें,
and presented the idea before the
सुनिए ये
sons
दोनों जीद कर
that,
बैठे हैं।
"Oh, dear sons,
गणेश और
as your
शिव
parents, we are both
दोनों
thinking to
जीद
get you
कर बैठे
married."
और
Now, both
कहने
the
लगे
sons,
अहम च परिणेष्यामि, मैं शादी करूंगा। ये गुजराती सीधा संस्कृत से उठाया है कि मैं पढ़ूंगा। हमारे वहां कहते हैं मैं पढ़ूंगा।
now both
अहम
Lord
च
Ganesha and
परिणेष्यामि,
Kartikeya started
मैं
saying that
पढ़ूंगा
they want to
शादी
get
करूंगा।
married.
और अहम चैव पुनः पुनः, वो कहता है ये कार्तिकेय से पहले मेरी शादी होनी चाहिए।
So
ये
Ganesha said that I should get married before Kartikeya, while
पहले मैं
Kartikeya
शादी
said
करूंगा,
that
पहले
I
मैं
should
शादी
get
करूंगा।
married before Ganesha. So both the brothers
मनस
started
मनश्च
speaking
नित्यम
like this.
विवादे तत्वावो, और ये विवाद बहुत बढ़ गया।
And this conflict
और
grew to a
दिन
huge
रोज
size before
नित्य
them.
ये
So
दोनों
every
ऐसे आते
day,
थे कि
both the brothers would come before their parents and they would ask
हम
when would
ऐसे
they get married.
तो अपने शिव और पार्वती शादी कब करेंगे आप हमारी?
So
तो
this
वही
became
भगवान श्री
a
कृष्ण याद
episode
आते हैं।
of every day for both the sons of Lord Shiva and Parvati.
3-4 साल के थे ना,
So I am reminded of this story
गोकुल
when
से
Lord Krishna
वृंदावन
was
में
almost around 4 or 5 years, when everyone got migrated from Gokul to Vrindavan. So everyone was sitting in bullock carts.
तो कृष्ण पशु पक्षी को देखकर बड़े एक्साइट हो रहे थे। तो एक हिरण
So all the living entities, animal,
बोले
birds,
वो देखो,
felt very happy to look
तो
at
उस हिरण के पीछे हिरणी जा रही थी। कृष्ण ने अपने
Lord
प्रिय सखा से
Krishna,
कहा कि माँ वो
and
कौन है?
Lord Krishna was feeling a great pleasure looking at different
बोले
types
ये
of
हिरणी है।
creatures. So Lord
क्या
Krishna
बोले
saw a deer, and
बोले ये
that
कौन है? बोले
a
ये
female
हिरणी
deer
है।
was running
बोले
behind
ये
him,
गाय।
and then he saw a
ऐसे
bull
3 पक्षी पशु
and other,
पत्नी पत्नी की बात आई।
cow going
तो
behind
कृष्ण ने
him.
कहा कि ये पशु
So
पक्षी सबकी
Mother
पत्नी है।
Yashoda
माँ मेरी
said that
पत्नी
it
कौन
is the
है?
wife of bull. So Lord Krishna
ये
asked that
मेरी
every
पत्नी नहीं
animal
है।
has a wife,
ये हिरण
but
की
why
पत्नी
don't
है।
I have a wife? The bull
खरगोश की
has a
पत्नी
wife,
है।
the rabbit has a wife, the
मेरी
bird
पत्नी
has a
कौन है?
wife,
छोटे से
the
बालक
deer
ने
has a
पूछा।
wife. So this small young Krishna raised
अब
this
यशोदा
question
तो
before
फोन
mother.
उठा रहे थे, ट्रांसफर, अब घर को मूव करना तो सब बिजी होते हैं। यशोदा ने कहा हाँ ठीक है, तेरी पत्नी
Now
भी मिल जाएगी।
Yashoda Maya, because she was busy in
अब
getting
यशोदा को क्या पता था कि
migration
कृष्ण क्या
from
करे, उघराने
Gokul
वसुदेव जानते
to
नहीं, ये वसुदेव है ना।
Vrindavan. So she said, okay, don't worry, I'll get a wife for
कृष्ण
you.
कहता है
So after every 5 minutes, Lord
कहाँ
Krishna
वाइफ
would
मिलेगी, मेरी पत्नी,
say
मेरी पत्नी कहाँ
to
है?
Yashoda Maya, where is my
कुछ नहीं
wife?
करनी।
You said I will get
अरे
my
वो
wife.
वो तुझे मिल जाएगी। फिर 5 मिनट
Now,
के बाद मेरी पत्नी
Yashoda
कहाँ है?
Maya,
पत्नी कहाँ? अब तो नाक में दम कर दिया।
every 5 to 6 minutes, Lord Krishna would trouble her with
फिर
the same
दोपहर का
question.
समय हुआ, भोजन का टाइम हुआ,
Now
सबने
it
अपने
was
घर
the
से
day
निकल
of the
गए। खाने
noon.
चक्कर में
It was the
दोनों
time to
पत्नियां
have
एक
the
साथ
meal.
माता एक साथ बैठी थी।
All the females were sitting
और
together
कृष्ण
and
फिर से
preparing
यशोदा
food.
के पीछे
And again,
टंग गए।
Lord Krishna
माँ वो मेरी पत्नी कहाँ
jumped
है?
onto the back of
माँ मेरी पत्नी
Maya
कहाँ है?
Yashoda and asked for his wife.
तब यशोदा ने कहा कि इनमें से जो भी अच्छी लगती है ना, वो तेरी पत्नी, इसमें से खोज।
So Yashoda
सब
Maya
गोपियां
said
बैठी थी, ब्रजवासी
that
बैठे थे,
whosoever
गोपियां
you're
बैठी थी, सब
fond
लोग
of
बैठे थे। बोले
amongst
यशोदा
all these
जो अच्छा
females,
लगे
choose anyone
चॉइस कर ले।
and she would be a
अभी
wife.
3-4 साल का लड़का।
Now imagine a boy of 3 to 5 years
तो कृष्ण
given this choice.
88 साल की एक बूढ़ी के हाथ पकड़कर कहते हैं माँ ये मेरी पत्नी है।
Now Sri Krishna catches
सब
her
लोग हंसने
hand
लगे।
of a 80 year
ये
eight,
अभी नहीं, और भी
88-year
टाइम है,
old female,
तूने
and
इसको
he
कौन
says
सी
that
पत्नी बनाया?
she should be my wife. Now everyone started laughing,
कि
and
माँ
Ishtamaya asked, why did you
वो
choose
दांत नहीं
her?
है,
So Lord Krishna
उसको
said,
दांत नहीं
oh
है।
mother, she does not have the teeth, and neither
वो
am
द्विज
I.
द्विज, उसको दांत नहीं है, मुझे भी दांत नहीं है, तो हम
Both of
दोनों
us
में
are
गुण मैच
toothless.
होता है, हम दोनों के गुण मैच
So
हो रहे हैं।
you see, our qualities are matching with each
अब
other.
ऐसी बातें जो है ना, कृष्ण एक दिन नहीं, हर
You see,
हफ्ते
such
करता।
instances in
मुझे समझ
episode
नहीं आता था
would not
कि
happen
माँ
just
की
for
शादी
once.
कब होगी।
You see, this marriage question would often be raised by Sri
राधिका
Krishna almost
गोविंद
every day, one after the other.
बिरज की छोरी से मैया करा दे मेरो ब्याह, उम्र तेरी छोटी है, नजर तेरी खोटी है, कैसे करा दूं तेरो ब्याह, जो नहीं ब्याह कराए, तेरी गैया नाही चराऊं, आज के बाद मेरी मैया तेरी दहली पर ना आऊं, आएगा रे मजा, हे मजा अब जीत हार का, राधिका गोरी से बिरज की छोरी से मैया करा दे मेरो ब्याह। मानो यशोदा कहे कि तेरी शादी कराने से मुझे क्या मिलेगा, तब कृष्ण
So
कहते हैं
if Yashoda Maya was to ask a question to Krishna, that what would she get if
तुझको
she would get Krishna married.
बैठाऊं
So Lord Krishna answers something like this.
चंदन की चौकी पर मैया तुझको बैठाऊं अपनी राधा से मैं चरण तेरे दबवाऊं अपनी राधा से मैं चरण तेरे दबवाऊं भोजन में बनवाऊंगा बनवाऊंगा 56 प्रकार के राधिका गोरी से बिरज की छोरी से मैया करा दे मेरो ब्याह। सो भगवान श्री कृष्ण को भी ये तो होता था कि हमारी शादी हो जाए।
Even Lord Krishna was desirous of getting married.
लेकिन हम चर्चा कर रहे हैं
So we were talking about
और कार्तिक
Ganesha ji and Kartikeya ji, who are brothers, and you see the brothers often engage in conflicts. So both of them are now in conflict that who should get married first.
तब और शिव और पार्वती ने सोचा कि अब ये दोनों बच्चों का क्या किया जाए।
Now both Shiva and Parvati ji are confused what to do for both the sons because both of them want to get married first.
शिवा उचतु
So it is said
शिवा और शिव ने
one
कार्तिकेय
day
और गणेश जी को बुलाया और
Devi Parvati and Lord Shiva called upon both their sons and they said to their sons,
समो द्वा अपि सतपुत्रो देखो तुम दोनों हमारे लिए सम हो।
so both Devi
हम स्वप्न में
Parvati
भी ऐसा नहीं सोच
and
सकते कि गणेश अच्छा कार्तिकेय अच्छा तुम दोनों हमारे लिए हम तुम्हारे माँ बाप हैं
so both
हमें कोई
Lord
भेदभाव
Shiva and
नहीं
Devi
तुम दोनों
Parvati
हमारे
say
लिए सम हो
that you
विशेषो
see,
नात्र
we
लभ्यते
place you both on equal pedestal for us.
ऐसा ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि एक विशेष है और एक ये है।
It is not that we prefer one over the other.
दशरथ जी के वचन याद आते हैं जब कई ने दशरथ जी से कहा था ना कि आप भरत को राजा बनाओ और राम को वनवास।
So, once when Dashrath Maharaj was said to
दशरथ जी
crown Bharatji and to send Lord Ram to the forest, Dashrath Maharaj replied to his wife KK, "Oh KK, for sure, you're taking a dig at me. I know that you can never even think of sending Ram to the forest. You can never think of
जल्दी खुलासा कर दे नहीं तो मेरे प्राण
exiling Lord Ram. And if you are taking dig at me, must you divulge?
सत्य कह रही हूँ
Otherwise, I will lose my life." Kekai said, "Oh Maharaj, I am not kidding at you. You must offer me these two boons. You must make Bharat the king of Ayodhya and send Ram to forest for a 14 year of exile." And this is what Kekai said in the form of Chopai, which is there on the screens before you.
शंकर लई साखी कई ने कहा कि महाराज
Kekai said, "Oh Maharaj,
क्या भरत आपका पुत्र नहीं है
is Bharat not your
क्या मैं
son?
आपकी पत्नी नहीं हूँ
Am I not your
क्या आप
wife?
मुझे कहीं से खरीद कर लाए हैं
Am I not your legally wedded
भरत के
wife?
प्रति इतनी विषम दृष्टि कैसे हो गई
How can you be so discriminatory against Bharat?
करना चाहते हैं
Why can't you throne him?"
तब दशरथ जी ने ये कहा था कि
So
मोरे
at
भक्त
this,
राम दुई आँखी
Dashrath Maharaj replied, "Okay, Kekai, what rubbish are you speaking? You are sinning when you are saying this. I have never discriminated one son against the other. I have always considered Ram and Bharat as my two eyes. And just as any person would love both his eyes, similarly I love both my sons Ram and Bharat. And if you still do not believe me, I take a vow on Mahadev that I have no difference, I have no discrimination between Bharat and Ram.
शिव और पार्वती यही कह रहे हैं
In this instance, even Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati are saying the same thing to their sons in the form of shloka, which is there before you on the screens. Oh dear sons, both of you are equal for our mind and heart. So we are not saying that either you or he should get married first,
एक शर्त रखी है
and therefore
हम दोनों में
we have
शर्त
decided upon a
और वो
condition,
शर्त क्या है
and that condition is
प्रण कृत संस्द पुत्रयो उभयो अपि हमने एक शर्त सोची कहाँ से
so we have decided upon a condition. So the sons asked what that condition is. So Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati
ये
replied,
सर्व पृथ्वी ये पूरी जो पृथ्वी है
whosoever amongst you
उपाब्रजे इस पूरी पृथ्वी की परिक्रमा करोगे
would circumambulate the entire earth.
बहुत सारे तीर्थ है
So the question was why to circumambulate the entire earth? So there are many adhams in the earth, on the earth.
दोनों में से कौन लायक है योग्य है
There are many pilgrim centers. So in one way, you would be able to visit all the pilgrim centers, holy places, and we would also be able to take a decision who amongst you deserves to be getting married first. So whosoever amongst you would be able to circumambulate the entire earth and reaches us first, we would get married that son in the first instance.
शिव जी ने बिल्कुल सोच कर निर्णय लिया
See, don't you think Lord Shiva had taken this decision in a wonderfully well manner? Perhaps he might have thought if Ganesha ji would do the circumambulation of the earth, he would lose some weight and that way he would get quite a beautiful girl. So perhaps he wanted Lord Ganesha to lose certain ounces of weight. Now you see, Brahmaji addresses to Naradji. So in this manner, when Lord Shiva and Parvati ji presented the condition that whosoever circumambulates the earth and appears before them would get married first. So as soon this condition was uttered by Devi Parvati and Lord Shiva, Kartikeya Swami immediately went on to start the circumambulation of the earth. Perhaps Kartikeya ji would have said, "Oh, Dad, don't worry. ये thrill मांगे more because my vehicle is more than the peacock." And imagine Lord Ganesha's vehicle is Chuha, which is rat or mouse. So Lord Kartikeya went on to board himself on his vehicle, peacock, just as he listened to the condition of his parents. You see, there's a very beautiful hidden meaning for us in our practical lives. That whenever we listen to a condition or a subject, we must not immediately react to it. We must first assess and understand that condition. See, my Guru Maharaj especially had counseled me that must you understand the mood of your Guru. The word that he used to use was Rukh. That what is it that he wants to speak? So Kartikeya never attempted to understand the mood. He only understood the words that circumambulation of the earth has to be done, and he went on to do the circumambulation. But imagine what is the condition of Lord Ganesha here. Let us try to see this in the form of shloka, which is there at the bottom of your screens. So Kartikeya ji had set a foot on the circumambulation of the earth, But Lord Ganesha was still standing there before his parents.
शेर जो
And Lord Brahma says
वनराज केसरी शेर
that
किसी
Lord
के स्थान
Ganesha
पर
stood
खड़ा रहता
there.
है 1.5 घंटे से और 2 कदम पीछे लेता है तो उसको
So,
कमजोर मत समझना।
for example, if a lion stands at a
खड़ा
place
है
for quite some time,
सोच
if
रहा
he
है
takes a
2 कदम
step
पीछे ले
back,
रहा है
then don't consider
तो
him as a
हमला
weak
करने
one.
जा रहा है,
Basically, he is
बहुत
taking a
बड़ा
step
हमला
back
करने जा
to
रहा है।
pounce on something.
कई बार होता क्या है, जो रात दिन दौड़ते रहते हैं, घूमते रहते हैं, लोग सोचते हैं बहुत अच्छा काम,
So sometimes some
कई बार
people think those who keeps on running here
ऐसे
and
लोग
there
अपना काम नहीं
must
करते
be
लेकिन बुद्धि से काम लेते हैं।
working very hard. Sometimes some
उस
people
तरह
don't
से
run about physically,
गणेश जी ने अपनी बुद्धि से काम
but
किया।
then those people work with rationality and
गणपति
mind.
तत्रैव
So
संस्थितो गणपति
Kartikeya was
बुद्धि
working with his body, but Lord
बुद्धि से काम,
Ganesha
बुद्धियों में
is
श्रेष्ठ है,
thinking
परम
with his
बुद्धिमान
mind.
है।
So he is best amongst the
अपनी
intellectuals,
सुंदर बुद्धि से
intellect.
सब
And from his
प्रकार के
beautiful
विषयों पर
intellect,
विचार किया,
he thought, he pondered over,
चित्त एवं पुनः पुनः बार बार विचार किया गणेश जी ने।
and he pondered over again and
और
again.
ये किया
The first thought
कि
was
मैं कितना भी प्रयास करूं मैं
that
हारने ही वाला हूं।
whatsoever I may try,
मोर है,
I would be
मोर की
defeated
चोंच होती है,
because
मोर।
that is Kartikeya has a peacock while I have a
तो
mouse.
सोचते हैं कि ऐसे तो काम बनने वाला नहीं है।
So this way I would never be able to complete
और देखो बहुत सुंदर,
the
ऐसे
round
में
about
विचार
the
किया।
earth.
गणेश जी तो बुद्धि के देवता, विचार करते
And
हैं।
Lord Ganesh is
मेरे पिताजी
the Lord for intellect.
शादी के लिए इतनी छोटी बात नहीं कर सकते
Now he is
कि मैं
thinking, Lord
गणेश
Ganesha
जी
is
से शादी
contemplating in his heart
करूं। ये
that
सोचने
my
इसके
father
पीछे कोई सूक्ष्म विचार नहीं
cannot
होना।
think of such a
तो
condition to
मैत्री
get
मुनि
us
की बात
married.
याद आती
There
है।
must be
मैत्री
some
मुनि
solid
ने
base
पराशर
behind
ऋषि
this
से
condition.
वेदों का, पुराणों का ज्ञान ग्रहण
Maitri
किया।
Rishi went on to
और
adopt
जब ज्ञान
knowledge
ग्रहण हो गया
of Vedas from
तो
Parashar
उन्होंने कहा
Rishi. Now Parashar
अब गुरु
Rishi said,
दक्षिणा मुझे चाहिए।
"Oh Maitri, now you
तो
should
जब तक
offer me
गुरु
Guru
दक्षिणा नहीं
Dakshina.
दोगे ये
And
मेरे
till the
सामने
time
ज्ञान
you do not
वर्तमान
offer
नहीं
me
है,
Guru Dakshina,
तुम्हारे जीवन में
the
कार्य नहीं
knowledge
होगा।
given by
तो
me to
भैया
you shall not be applicable in your life. It would be of no
तो
use
ठीक
to
है गुरु
you."
जी बताइए आप क्या
Now
दूं
Maitri Muni
दक्षिणा
said,
में।
"Oh my Guru,
बोले एक काम करो,
what should I give you as an offering?"
मुझे सोना चाहिए,
Parashar Rishi said
मुझे
that offer me
सुवर्ण चाहिए,
Suvarna,
सुवर्ण ला कर दो।
get me Suvarna.
लेकिन सुवर्ण मेरा कोई काम धंधा बिजनेस जॉब नहीं, निकलो
No,
यहाँ से,
Maitreya
मुझे
Muni
तुमसे
said
बात नहीं करनी है।
that,
सुवर्ण ला
"Oh
कर दो,
Maharaj, I do not have a business.
तब
How can I
यहाँ से
get you
काम होगा,
Suvarna?"
नहीं तो जीरो।
Parashar Rishi said, "Get me Suvarna, only then this knowledge shall work for you, else it shall
कंजूस
not."
कार्तिकेय की तरह नहीं थे, मैत्री मुनि सोचे
Now Maitreya Muni
कि
was not
मुझे
like
सुवर्ण,
Kartikeya.
अब गुरु जी तो वैरागी हैं
Maitreya Muni was
और ऐसे
thinking
वैरागी
and started contemplating
सुवर्ण की क्या,
how,
सुवर्ण तो सोना
how
है,
would a Vairagi,
गोल्ड सोना,
how would and
सोचे
why would a
विचार
rishi
किया।
require suvarna or
और
gold?
फिर सोचे कि गुरु जी सुवर्ण तो, सोना तो नहीं मांग सकते, हाँ
So
सुवर्ण का और एक अर्थ होता है
Maitreya Muni
सुवर्ण,
thought that for sure Parashar Rishi cannot ask for gold, but
सुंदर रंग,
then he thought
सुवर्ण
Su
सुंदर
word
रंग।
means beautiful color is another
सुवर्ण का
meaning,
दूसरा अर्थ होता है
and another
सुवर्ण
meaning of
माने
Suvarna
वर्णमाला,
is Varnamala,
शब्द,
Shabd, which is
सुवर्ण
words,
माने सुंदर शब्द। तो सुवर्ण के दो अर्थ बने,
beautiful
एक
words. So
सुंदर
there are two
वर्ण
meanings. One is
और एक
beautiful
सुंदर
words
नाम, सुंदर शब्द।
and beautiful
तो
name.
बोले सुंदर वर्ण और सुंदर शब्द
So
तो
beautiful name and
कलयुग में,
beautiful
वर्तमान
words
में तो केवल
in the age of Kali
यहाँ
Yuga
पर ही मिलता है।
is available only on the banks of
जो प्रकट रूप से
river
भगवान मिलता
Gandak,
है।
the Shaligram
तो मैत्री
Shila,
मुनि गए
which is the
और वो
manifestation
शालिग्राम
of the
शिला
Lord.
लेकर अपने गुरु के
And now
पास
Maitreya
गए
Muni
और कहा
presented
गुरु
that Shaligram Shila
ये लीजिए
to
सुवर्ण,
Parashar
वर्ण में
Rishi.
भी सुंदर और शब्द
In
में भी
color and
सुंदर।
form also beautiful, and in the word also it's
कहा कि अब
beautiful.
तुम्हें
Then
सारी
Guru
विद्या
Maharaj,
प्राप्त होगी,
Guru Parashar said,
सोना चाहिए।
now the knowledge will
उन्होंने
certainly
सोचा
be fruitful upon you.
सीधा गोल्ड की दुकान में छापा मार
If
देता,
he would have reacted the way Karthik ji did, then he would have attacked a gold mine and presented gold before the law, before his
लोगों
guru.
पे विचार
So
होता है।
whenever you see Guru Maharaj utters anything, we must apply intellect and think, what is he trying to say?
बोले
Now
मैंने
Ganesh ji is
उससे
in the mood of contemplation that my father cannot put such a material condition.
और
Then Lord Ganesha
माता पिता
took a
शिव पिताजी जी के
decision
पास गए
that
और
I
कहते हैं
should go
गणेश
before
जी
the parents.
गणेश जी
And
शिव
then Lord
पिताजी
Ganesha
महादेव जी को
spoke.
कहने लगे, क्या कहते हैं,
So what does
सुनो
Lord
जवाब
Ganesha
देते हैं।
say? to Lord Shiva and Parvati, "Oh my mother, oh my father, must you please sit on a asan, on a chair?" Lord Ganesha said, "First, both of you, please place yourself on a chair. I need to worship you, O my parents. I want to worship you, and please listen to what I desire, what I seek from you. Please fulfill this wish of mine that I want to worship you." So Lord Ganesha was allowed by Shiva and Parvati ji to worship him, to worship them. Now Lord Ganesha washed the feet of his parents and offered worship to his parents and went on to go around his parents, circumambulate the parents again and again. And in this manner, for 7 times he went around his parents. And how did he do that parikrama? He offered the circumambulation of his parents by offering pranam. So the principle that gets established over here is that whenever we go in for parikrama of Vrindavan, of Giriraj Maharaj, of Thakurji, we must do that while as we offer pranams. So we must offer pranam at the initiating point and at the completion point. Danvat pranam is what we must offer. So 7 parikramas he offered to his parents. And then with his folded hands, Lord Ganesha spoke before his parents. So he is the ocean of intellect. Lord Ganesha uttered before his parents. And Ganesh ji spoke before his parents. Now Lord Shiva spoke to his parents that, "Oh, my mother, oh, my father, get the girl and get me married right away, right at this place. Must you get me married?" Now both Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati were bewildered that how come Lord Ganesha is saying that he should be married now. At this point of time, Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati said, "Oh dear son, first you go around the earth, which was our condition. Our condition was whosoever would complete the circumambulation of the earth and circumambulation of the earth, which has the oceans, the 7 mountains, the 7 islands. You go and do the circumambulation of that earth, just as Kartikeya has gone to do that. Similarly, must you go and then come back fast, and then we will get you married. How can you ask us to get you married straight away?" Now Lord Ganesha spoke to Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati. "Oh, my father, what you wanted is that I should go around the earth, and I have done that parikrama of the earth. And I have not just done that once, but I have done it 7 times. So you see, Lord Ganesha is not called the ocean of intellect just like that. He even bewildered and astonished Devi Parvati and Lord Shiva. Both of them will accept that yes, Lord Ganesha has done the parikrama.
फिर आप ऐसा कैसे बोल रहे हो कि मैंने परिक्रमा नहीं की?
I have done it 7 times, and how come you say that I have not done the
शिव
parikrama?
और पार्वती कहते तूने कब परिक्रमा की?
Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati asked
समुद्र वाली पृथ्वी की होती है।
Ganesha, when did you perform
ने बहुत सुंदर कहा।
the parikrama?
गणेश जी के
Now, Ganeshji says it very beautifully in the form of shloka.
बोले आप दोनों की पूजा करके शिव शंकर योर हम शिव और
After having worshipped you and my mother, after worshipping
बुद्धि से
Devi Parvati
संपूर्ण
and Lord Shankar
बात कर रहे हो
through my intellect,
पृथ्वी की 7 परिक्रमा
I have done 7 parikramas by going around you 7 times. So, what is the meaning? What is the principle underlying here? Let us understand that logic.
जितनी भी बातें
See, whatever shlokas which will surface over here, one point that you must remember is in our lives,
की बड़ी महिमा है।
it's great significance of two people we should never forget or we should never reject. And we should always keep
एक
this
है हमारे माता
along with us. One is our parents, and the other one is being Guru.
शरीर से जुड़ी हुई उन्नति के लिए माता पिता और उनकी कृपा उनके आशीर्वाद का होना बहुत जरूरी है।
For the progress of this material body, the blessing of parents is very, very important. And for the progress of the soul, the blessings of Guru is very, very important.
माँ बाप की कृपा से
So the body can progress by blessing of parents, and the soul will progress by blessings of the Guru. So the Guru of the body are the parents, and the Guru of the soul is the Guru Maharaj.
माता पिता भी है
So here in this story, Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati are the parents as well as the Guru.
जो चीज आएगी
So the philosophy that we shall engage in now, if you would think from material level, it shall be applicable for the parents,
लेवल से आप
and for the level of soul, it is.
तो अब जितने भी सिद्धांत गणेश जी बताएंगे ना
So whatever principles Ganesha would talk about would be applicable to the parents for the body, and for soul it would be applicable to Guru Maharaj, because Lord Shiva is the Guru of Charachar, and that is the reason it is applicable to Guru Maharaj also. Now Lord Ganesha goes on to say, Lord Ganesha says, what is written in the Shastras? So Lord Ganesha now would illustrate with the help of examples from the Shastras. Lord Ganesha says, oh dear Father, Shastras mention that if you worship your parents for the body, and if you talk about soul, Guru, so if you worship your parents or your Guru, so worshipping Guru, one, begets the result of doing a parikrama of the earth. This is what is being written in the Shastras. So if one worships parents or Guru, it is as good as saying that you do the parikrama of the entire earth. And that is the reason, because I have worshipped you, and you are my parent as well as my Guru, so I am deserving of the fruit that a person would get after doing circumambulation of the earth. Further, Lord Ganesha goes on to say,
अपने माता पिता को अपने घर में छोड़कर, पितरों अपने माँ बाप को अपने घर में छोड़कर तीर्थम व्रजेत, तीर्थों में भ्रमण करता है, तस्य पापम तथा प्रोक्तम, शास्त्र में लिखा है.
So a person who leaves the parents behind at home and goes for pilgrims, he is not engaged in doing tirth, rather he is committing a sin.
गृहे अपहाय घर में छोड़कर तीर्थम आव्रजेत, यदि कोई तीर्थ करता है तस्य पापम, उसे बहुत बड़ा पाप लगता है.
So a person who leaves the parents behind and himself goes afoot for pilgrims, the person attracts sin.
हनने च तयोर यथा, माता पिता को जान से मारने का, तलवार लेकर
So what is the degree of the sin that this person attracts? The degree of sin is as good as saying that the sin is equal to killing the parents. That degree of sin is attracted by the person who goes on for pilgrimage, leaving the parents behind. Now, in the other way,
उसकी तरह तीर्थों में जो भ्रमण करता है या अपनी गुरु की आज्ञा लिए बिना,
a person who goes for pilgrim centers without taking the permission of the Guru, that is not Tirth Brahman, pilgrim visit, but sin.
इसलिए शरीर के लिए पेरेंट्स को आज्ञा और उन्हें छोड़कर तीर्थ नहीं करना चाहिए, और आत्मा की उन्नति के लिए गुरु को छोड़कर या गुरु की आज्ञा को छोड़कर तीर्थाटन करना ये पाप है. बहुत सुंदर कहते हैं, पुत्रस्य च महातीर्थ.
Further, Lord Ganesha goes on to say,
महातीर्थ है क्या? पितरश्च चरण पंकजम, अपने पितरों के, माँ बाप के चरण कमल ही संतानों के लिए महातीर्थ.
the lotus feet of the parents is the pilgrim center for the children.
गुरोश्च चरण पंकजम.
Similarly, the lotus feet of the Guru is the pilgrim center for a disciple.
और अन्य तीर्थम तु दूरे वे गत्वा संप्राप्तते पुनः.
And further, Lord Ganesha says,
यदि ऐसे चरण कमल का आश्रय मिल जाए,
if somebody takes refuge to such lotus foot, there is no need to go to any pilgrim center. If somebody gets shelter to such lotus feet, there is no need to go to any other pilgrim center.
उनकी तीन महिमा बताते हैं कि
So Lord Ganesha now explains three glories of the lotus feet of Guru and parents.
चरणों में जो तीर्थ है,
So the pilgrim center situated at the lotus feet of the Guru and parents are very, very close to us.
दूर दूर है.
Other pilgrim centers are located far away, but the pilgrim center in the form of Guru and parent is situated very near to us. Secondly, it is easily available. It is easily accessible.
वहां जाने के लिए टाइम चाहिए, पैसा
So you see, pilgrim for other pilgrim centers, one needs to spend money, time, etc. But the parent and the Guru pilgrim centers are easily accessible. And the third and the very important one,
तीर्थम कुर्वन्ति तीर्थानि, और कहते हैं धर्म साधनम, समस्त धर्मों का साधन स्वरूप, मतलब सारे धर्मों का साधन स्वरूप गुरुदेव के चरण कमल है.
the lotus feet of the Guru is the source of all dharma.
गणेश जी इतने बुद्धिमान है कि एक
So
point
Lord Ganesha is so intelligent.
पुत्र के लिए, ठीक है?
He did not leave even a single point.
पुत्रश्च स्त्रिय, और पुत्र की जो पत्नी है,
And then Lord Ganesha goes on to speak that the wife of the son, that is the daughter-in-law,
शोभनम, केवल पुत्र के लिए नहीं, पुत्र की जो पत्नी है उसके लिए भी उनके सास और ससुर के चरण तीर्थ है.
that even for the daughter-in-law,
इसे छोड़कर
the lotus feet
है कि हम बहुत बड़ी भक्ति कर रहे हैं,
of the parents is the pilgrim center. So it is not bhakti but sin.
गुरुदेव की आज्ञा के बिना या उनको साथ में लिए बिना तीर्थ तीर्थ नहीं है. तो इस प्रकार से इति शास्त्राणि, गणेश जी प्रमाण देते हैं, इति शास्त्राणि.
So Lord Ganesha goes on to say that this is what has been explained in the Shastras and Vedas.
निरंतरम कहा गया है.
So the Shastras and Vedas, according to Lord Ganesha, has been explained again and again. And
स्वीकार करना हो.
oh dear parents, this is your bounden duty to accept it.
असत्यम पुनरेवच, तो फिर ये वेद की वाणी असत्य हो जाएगी.
And if you don't accept it, then the Vedas would be proven wrong. And you see the last stroke that Lord Ganesha goes on to play.
शास्त्र की इन बात को, हे माताजी पिताजी,
Oh dear parents, oh Guru Maharaj, if you don't accept the utterances of the Shastras, so God is true and the Shastras made by God are true, and if you don't accept the utterances of the Shastras, then even you will become untrue. So a very beautiful and strong principle has been established by Lord Ganesha. A guru will remain a guru only so long as he follows the Shastras and the Vedas. The day he stops following the Shastras and Vedas, he does not deserve to be called a guru. This is the point that has been explained in the first line of the shloka.
सत्यम च भवेदिह असत्य च भवेदिह, आपका अस्तित्व ही खत्म हो जाएगा यदि शास्त्र की इन बातों को नहीं मानोगे.
So your own identity will get dissolved if you will not accept this utterance of the Vedas. So you see, dear devotees, in our personal lives, we must understand that the glory of the Guru is there because he internalizes the crux of the Vedas. So, oh dear Father, now it is for you to think upon this and ponder upon this. If you would become untrue, and even the Vedas would go untrue because of this act of yours. Now, Lord Shiva asks, how would the Shastras would go untrue? Lord Ganesha said, because you are the Guru. A normal person of the material world can afford to make mistakes, but a great white person, if he commits a small error, it creates huge loss to the society. So very beautifully, strongly, Lord Ganesha expressed his point. So you see, sometimes people say that they have not committed an error, but the fact is, a sadhu, if he commits even a small error, it is considered as a big error. So you see, even a small error of a sadhu or a guru is very, very huge. For example, if your watch,
मुंबई में, आप भारत में वो जो लोकल ट्रेन होती है ना, टाइम से होती, आपकी घड़ी यदि ठीक से काम,
so if your watch is not working properly, you would miss your train.
अकेले ट्रेन चूकोगे.
And this train that you will miss would be missed only by you. But just in case, if the clock at the platform does not work properly, then don't you think thousands of people would miss their train? Isn't it?
तो एक ही आदमी ट्रेन चुकेगा, लेकिन प्लेटफॉर्म की घड़ी ठीक न चले तो जमाना ट्रेन चुक जाएगा. साधारण आदमी गलती करे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, लेकिन कोई प्रतिष्ठित या कोई साधु,
So, if a normal person commits the error, not much of a deal. But if an established person commits an error, then the Vedas are proven wrong. Vedas might go untrue if you commit this mistake. Because people do not know the Vedas. People know you because it is you who popularizes and publicizes the Vedas.
तो यहाँ पर गणेश जी ने पूर्णाहुति की, ये शिव और पार्वती तो देखते रह गए.
Now, Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati were bewildered and astonished. Now, Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati says, oh dear son, you are really highly intelligent and very, very pure. There is no single iota of sin. You have an intellect like that of Mahatmas. Whatever you said is absolutely true. Oh Ganesha, whatever you said is absolutely true. And
ऐसी बुद्धि सबकी होनी चाहिए. ये कौन बोला? शिव और पार्वती. गणेश, ऐसी बुद्धि संसार में सबकी होनी.
This is what the intellect that should be possessed by everyone in this world. Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati says, sometimes there are many a problem that befuddles a person. altogether. So, oh dear son, if there are numerous problems coming to a person, but if a person applies the mind and intellect like that of yours, so if the intellect is powerful, whatever strong problems that might come will never be able to move the person. Just like the darkness of the night disappears with the arrival of Lord Sun. So just in case if we have the intellect like that of the sun, all the problems will vanish and disappear. In this world, the strength of the physical body is not considered the strength at all, O my dear son. Lord Shiva addresses Ganesha that the strength in this world is not considered to be the strength of physical body, but strength is considered to be that of the mind. Imagine elephant who is so strong physically, but you see, a small human being, a man who applies mind, intellect, is able to control the elephant. So whosoever has the mind, whosoever has the power of intellect, he is having the strength. And the one who does not have the intellect, who does not have the mind, who does not have the application of mind, is no strength at all. So now the discussion is actually moving a little towards Kartikeya. And now Lord Shiva goes on to illustrate further. There was an incident in history that a rabbit and a lion came face to face. So you see, the lion is very powerful to kill thousands of rabbits. But that rabbit, by applying his mind and reason, was able to get the lion jump into the well. So, O Ganesha, O dear Ganesha, whatever duties and responsibilities are enshrined in the Vedas, you have been able to imbibe them, follow them word by word. We are so surprised and astonished and bewildered to see that you have been able to follow the prescribed duties in the Vedas for our son. O dear son, we really accept, we both accept in humility, in all humility, that yes, you have gone around the earth, you have done the circumambulation of the earth. Now, for sure, we must get you married because you have convinced us.
पंकज जी ने किया तो हम क्यों बाकी रह जाए? गणेश जी ने ऐसा कहा, हम क्यों बाकी रह जाए, किया जाए। और देखो पिताजी, एक नहीं, ये मनुष्य लोग एक एक शादी करते हैं, मुझे दो करनी है।
Now Lord Ganesha said that, oh dear father, people on the earth marries once, but I want to get married twice. Lord Shiva said, okay dear son, the daughter of Vishwakarma, Riddhi and Siddhi, or Vishwakarma, Siddhi and Buddhi. So Ganeshi was married to Siddhi and Buddhi. So beautiful songs were sung. Bharat came, and imagine Kartikeya is still going around the earth, and here Lord Ganesha has got married. So Lord Ganesha just not got married, but even was blessed with kids, with two kids, Shubh and Lav. Very beautiful sons. So after many a days, Kartikeya Swami arrived and he saw Lord Ganesha with the two wives and his two sons. Lord Ganesha said, "Oh dear sons, go and wish your elder uncle." Now the kids went and offered Dandat Pranam to Kartikeya ji. Now Kartikeya ji was completely astonished. Who are these two sons? Kartikeya ji perhaps might have thought that these might be the sons of some people, some neighbors. And it is at that point of time, Naraji appears on the scene, took Kartikeya ji, and he said, "Must you bless them and give them some gift? Because these are your cousins, these are your nephew." Now, Kartikeya ji was told by Naraji that Ganesha has got married, has been blessed with two sons. Now, this is what angered and annoyed Kartikeya ji. Now, Kartikeya ji got strongly annoyed. Now, Devi Parvati and Lord Shiva attempted to please and pacify Kartikeya ji that we would get you married too, but Kartikeya ji decided that he will never get married and he left for Kronch mountain, Kronch hill, which is situated in the state of Karnataka in the Bellary district. So it's a very beautiful temple out there. So Kartikeya Swami reached Kronch mountain, Kronch hill. Now Devi Parvati and Lord Shiva sent Naraji to bring Kartikeya ji back to Kailash. Naraji went to Kronch hill and attempted to pacify Kartikeya ji. But Kartikeya ji did not relent. Naraji now came back to Lord Shiva and Parvati that Kartikeya ji is not relenting. Devi Parvati and Lord Shiva then went to Kronch hill by themselves, and when they reached Kronch hill, Kartikeya had left Kronch hill ahead by. So now Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati halted at Kronch hill that as we would follow him, he would move to other places. Kartikeya Swami sent the message to Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati that you don't follow me. I have decided to remain celibate all throughout my life and I will not get married. And that is the reason Kartik is referred to as Kartik Kumar. Means he never got married, he always remained, young. Now,
पार्वती उस क्रौंच पर्वत पर ही रुक गए। दो कारण शास्त्र में लिखा है। एक बोले अब हम कैलाश से
at Kronch hill,
पर आ ही गए हैं तो जगत कल्याण के लिए हमें यहाँ पर रहना चाहिए।
that we have descended from Kailash mountain at Kronch hill, so we must stay here for the well-being of the people of the earth. And because we would be able to stay here, we would be able to make a visit to our son every fortnight. So Devi Parvati and Lord Shiva, in the form of Jyotirling, appeared on Kronch hill. Parvati ji was called as Mallika Devi and Shivji got the name of Arjun. So that is how this Jyotirling came to be referred to as Mallika Arjun Mahadev. So now, the Mallika Arjun temple, which is there in the background on the screens, and you can see the vigrah of Shivling. So in this manner, to pacify and please the son Kartikeya, Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati are situated in the form of Jyotirling. And that is the reason in Rudra Samhita of Shiv Puran, it has been said So the shloka of Shiv Puran goes like this.
जननी गर्भ संभूत कष्टम नापनोति वै पुनः। जो मनुष्य इस ज्योतिर्लिंग का दर्शन करता है, मतलब मल्लिकार्जुन का,
a person who has the darshans of this Jyotirling, without any doubt, this person goes on to fulfill all his desires. And once he leaves this material world, he would never come back to the womb of the mother. He never undergoes the pains of the womb of the mother. For sure, he would reach Bhagvatam. So, a person who has darshans, who goes on to have darshanams of this Mallika Archan Jyotirling, would never undergo the pain of the womb of the mother and would be absolved of all the pains in this material world and would reach Bhagavatam for sure. So with this, I bring a close to the second day's Katha and we would continue on this tomorrow. So I appreciate all the time and patience that you all have exhibited. There is quite a possibility, and there is a possibility that there are certain shortcomings in my utterances. I am somebody from amongst you, that there are certain shortcomings. So I would seek forgiveness for all the shortcomings and pitfalls and keep on blessing me. So with this, Hare Krishna, Radhe Shyam, a special thanks to the host family, Chand family, Patel family, and Agastya family. Hari Prabhu, Sudharani Mataji from Bahrain, Umesh Chandji, Vinita Chand Mataji, and their son Shanil and Shani from Melbourne. So, once again, I appreciate all the patience of each one of you. Hare Krishna, Radhe Shyam.
हमारे न्यूजीलैंड से उमेश चांद प्रभु, श्री विनीता माता, गुजराती છે અમારા માતાજી, એટલે હું વચ્ચે ગુજરાતી થોડું થોડું બોલું છું. और मेलबोर्न से शानिल और शाइनी, आप सभी भक्तों का धन्यवाद. महादेव आप पर कृपा करें, कृष्ण की शुद्ध भक्ति प्रदान करें, ऐसी कामना के साथ आज के द्वितीय सत्र को जय जयकार के साथ विराम करें. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की, श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की.